Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a Dodge Durango Hellcat. I am finally going to be able to do a full review on one of these. I'm so excited. Before we get in this video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Doug Smith Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Spanish Fork, Utah for giving me some time with this Durango. This particular Durango is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out the rest of the inventory they have as well. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering this Durango is a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 710 horsepower and then 645 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see we've got the venting here at the top, which looks so aggressive. And then coming down below, we've got the Durango's new style headlights here, and then notice how the grill's all blacked out, and then you actually have this very subtle Hellcat logo because it's blacked out, so it kind of hides in the grill. And then notice down below here, we've got more venting because we need lots of venting for the airflow with this engine. Parking sensors here on the front end as well. And putting it all together, this Durango being all blacked out just looks so sinister. Now, coming around the side here, tire wheel setup is 295, 45, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. You guys can see here with the wheels, notice how they're like metallic gray, and then you've got the red brake caliper, Brembo brakes if you guys are wondering. You need lots of stopping power when you've got over 700 horsepower. I love the look of the fender flare here, and then you guys can see Hellcat badge here on the side, and then notice just everything's, well, blacked out. And taking a look at the side profile here, again, this car's just so subtle for what it actually is. Now here is our key fob. You guys can see we've got our Hellcat logo there on the back. We've got our unlock function or lock function, remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. Now popping into the rear, you guys will notice that just like every other Durango, you've got storage behind the third row and got a little bit more storage underneath here as well. Got a 12 volt here off to the side, and then seats still fold down like normal, so just basically pull that tab and then throw the seat forward. So pretty straightforward setup. And if you're wondering, just press this button right here and that will lower the hatch right back down. Now taking a look at the taillights here, you guys can see we've got the light bar that the Durango is kind of famous for, and then all the badges again are all blacked out, so it's like you gotta look real close to know what this is. Parking sensors here at the rear, you guys can see you've got the bezel that covers the receiver hitch, and again, those exhaust tips, I mean, they're aggressive, but like not as aggressive as you'd think for a Hellcat. Wrapping things up, I think this Durango might just win Sleeper SUV of the Year because like it's one of those vehicles where you only know if you know. Now popping inside, you guys can see you've got the forged carbon here, and then look at the leather and the stitching on the door panel as well. And then popping over to the seats, notice you got the Hellcat logo there. We've got Alcantara all down the center portion. Red seat belts, which is actually really cool. And this one has the captain chair configuration. Now legroom here in the back is really solid. You guys can see we've got little storage there. We've got some vents here in the back. Heated seats, we've got the USBs, we've got a full power outlet as well. And then the headroom's also great. And we got the climate controls here at the top because the back passengers get their own climate zone. Now, I'm not going to stuff myself in the back of the Durango because I've done that a million times. It's literally the same as any other Durango, except you get red seat belts, and then you guys can see you've got the Alcantara on the seats. Now, taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see here with the carbon fiber trim, and then look at the stitching here. We've got all of our window controls, front two are automatic. You've got your mirror adjustments, memory seat. We've got the Harman Kardon sound system with this, and then we also have blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then here's the front seat. Notice SRT with the Hellcat logo. You can see again with the seat belt, you can see perforated down the center as well. And then we've got our power adjustments here on the side, supercharged plaque, which is really cool. And then we've got our light controls here, and then look at the Alcantara there. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see we've got really nice leather trim all around. It's perforated here on the sides so you can get a better grip, and this steering wheel is just chunky. Radio controls there on the back. We got paddle shifters for the 8-speed. We've got regular cruise control as well as adaptive cruise control. We've got our phone controls, voice command controls, and then we also have our controls there for the center stack. And then here is the gauge cluster. So you guys can see we've got the speedo that goes up to 200 miles an hour, and Yeah, you guys got me. So 27,000 miles. Yes, this is a pre-owned Durango. Now here's the deal. The only difference between a 23 and a 21 Hellcat Durango is that the 23 has a last call plaque. Other than that, the vehicles are identical, and I guess that the fun part about this review is we'll be able to see like how well this Durango's held up over 27,000 miles. Because again, it's a Hellcat with that many miles. That's pretty crazy. But anyways, you can scroll through some different menus here. And I guess the other thing I'll mention before I move on is if I have a chance to review a 23, I will, but I just don't think that's going to happen with availability, especially like a full driving review. Whereas since this is used, well, we're good to go. Now in reverse, you guys can see I've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. Now taking a look at the infotainment system itself, first off, got a shortcut bar here at the bottom, and response time is pretty good. It does take a second for some of the pages to load up. I mean, you can see there. But notice we've got heated and ventilated seats as well as dual zone climate. I like how you've got the Dodge logo there for the change in the fan speed. That's pretty cool. And you got the race car helmets on the passengers. That's some fun stuff. Now the next thing that's really important is our SRT dashboard. So this has all the different drive modes, and this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So you have a track mode at the same time as you have a tow mode on a vehicle. Like, what other vehicle has like that many different uses? That is just absolutely insane. Now down below, we've got our analog controls for the heated and cooled seats. You've got your climate controls, you've got the radio controls, and then notice we got our launch control as well. And then you can see down below, we've got some USB action, and then our wireless phone charging pad, and then look at the forged carbon here. That's so cool. Got some cup holders, and then we have our shifter for the 8-speed automatic. And then here's the center console. As you can see, you got a little 12-volt there. Really nice trim here on the top. And then again, look at the Alcantara there, and then forged carbon. Then you've got nice trim here on the dash as well. And this is all held up really well over time. Actually, it looks just like the new ones that I review. And then you can see here with the glove box lined with felt. Now up top, we got the controls here for the sunroof, and then this has like a nice premium headliner. You can kind of see it there on the pillars as well. Now here's the original window sticker for this Hellcat Durango. Now the new one's going to be a bit more expensive. It's like over $100,000 for a similar spec, but you guys could at least remember how like inexpensive this one was. It's still very expensive, but I guess compared to the current one. But anyways, look at the options this one has. Pretty much fully loaded, $12.17 for the fuel economy. Anyways, $94,080 was the original MSRP. Like I said, the new one's like over $100,000 for a similar spec. Let's see how this thing drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors just do have blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And well, Hellcat Durango away. So we are setting off in the Hellcat Durango, and if you guys don't know, I owned a Ram TRX for almost 2 years. That's the only Hellcat that I've ever personally owned, but I also sold, you know, Dodges and Rams brand new back in the day, and so like I have quite a bit of experience with these Hellcat vehicles. But again, I've never driven a Hellcat Durango before, and first off, I absolutely love how this feels right off the bat. So like, you get a little bit of supercharger whine when you just get on it a bit, which is really exciting, and then the seats are actually pretty dang comfortable. And so it seems like this vehicle is just such a like multi-purpose unit, and that's what the Durango's always been about, right? You can tow with it, it's a family vehicle, and then, you know, when you get the V8 versions, it's also a fun sporty vehicle. And by the way, we are in sport mode right now. Just listen to that. Okay. Oh, buddy. That's a Hellcat. That's definitely a Hellcat. Man, a three-row family SUV has no right to be this fast. This thing's crazy. But like, let's put it back in auto mode. And here on the highway, like it's super comfortable. Like, the ride quality is really good. So, I mean, I know that the emphasis on this car was definitely not luxury, that's for sure. But, I mean, it kind of does the luxury car stuff. It's got a good compliant ride. And the front end being so heavy on this car helps out with the, making it like just, it stays planted because of that. And like I said earlier, the seats are comfortable. Definitely a little bit on the firmer side. And I've noticed with these seats, It seems like they hold their original firmness long term, because again, it says 27,000 miles on it, and these seats feel pretty similar to like a brand new Durango that has the same exact seats with it. So we are going to be getting back on the interstate, and then we'll fully sum things up here. We're in the track mode this time. I guess we'll see if that changes anything. Yeah, this thing's such a monster. It sounds so good too. I mean, listen to that V8. So yeah, to fully sum things up, I approve of the Hellcat Durango. I think this is one of the coolest vehicles ever made. I mean, obviously a 700 horsepower SUV is crazy enough, but the fact that like it's a tow vehicle, like you can tow with it, it's a family vehicle, like there's just so much about this that's so cool. So like, if you have a chance to get one of those last call Durangos, Hellcat Durangos, I think it's worth it, because it's just such a unique, cool vehicle. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the new Hellcat Durango.